Shalom, Yashala, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh. I do so in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Yasharallah. Kol Holoyim La Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Harakat for blessing our elders with the spirit of truth so that we may know. Shout out to the Akim and the Aquath that's keeping the faith in the work. Shall keep at it. This your brother Abaya coming at you with more precepts. It's the book of Second Ezra, chapter 16 and verse 21. It says, Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. Right? For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. Esau's people see the calamities to come, but the people don't see it because they basically keep telling the people everything gonna be all right, like it says in I believe that's Galatians. Let me see. Is that Galatians? No, that's First Thessalonians, I believe. Let me see. First Thessalonians. Let me see. Hold up. 5:3 says, For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Right? So that peace and safety is really Esau Edom deceiving the world, right? Especially those of the daughter of Babylon, screaming peace and safety when in actuality Esau can clearly see destruction ahead, right? But this article, an article in Zero Hedge, and the title of the article is Peter Schiff, Great Depression 2.0 is incoming, right? And they've been speaking this way for a few years now, right? But like I said, the people can't see it because you can still go to the store, get your foods, get your goods, still go buy your vehicles. But what they're not noticing is, yeah, you can go to the store and buy food, but it's less food than in times past, right? What that means is the price of things is going up. The reason why price of things are going up is because the value of the dollar is consistently dropping. Right? Yeah, you can go buy a vehicle, but the price of that vehicle is through the roof, and it's for the same reason. So I'm gonna read this article now, or portions of it. I'm gonna try to get through the whole thing, but it says Peter Schiff appeared on First TV's I'm Right with Jesse Kelly to talk about the state of the economy, inflation, and the unfolding financial crisis. Peter warned that we're heading straight toward Great Depression 2.0. Jesse opened the show by noting that the CPI fell to 4.9% in April. Says that's an improvement, right? Peter responded, I guess it's not quite as bad as it was, but it's not good. Right? Says if you thought prices were high before, they just went up another 4.9% from where they were a year ago, and that was up a lot from where they were a year before that. Right? So it's just consistently getting worse and worse with every year that passes. Right? But seeing as though it's not a drastic drop, the people can't really see it like that. Right? But eventually it's gonna get to the point to where people see it. Right? It says, and Peter reminded the audience that these government CPI numbers are not honest. It says you basically have to double the official numbers to get a better idea of what's actually happening with prices. So, if the government says they're up 4.9%, they're probably up closer to 9.8%. That is a better read on what Americans are struggling with. Right? It says Peter explained that the method for calculating the CPI was designed to produce a lower number. The government doesn't have to lie, the CPI does it for them. It says Jesse said the Fed is facing a devil's bargain as to choose between high interest rates and high inflation. Peter said we're going to get both. Interest rates are prices. Says it's the price you pay when you borrow money. The price is going up. Right now, if you recall, they had a debt ceiling they've been talking about, and I believe the due date is January the 1st or June the 1st. It's a lot. June the 1st, which next month. Right, so next month something got to shake with the money. Right, so next month should be very interesting. But it says the price is going up just like the price of everything else, and in fact, interest expense is a major part of every business. As interest goes up, well, that's just another cost that you need to pass on to your customers through higher prices. So it's a self-perpetuating spiral, right? And it's going to get worse and worse and worse, right? Like it says in the book of 2nd Ezra 15, right? 2nd Ezra 15 and 14, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, in the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Right? Let me see, let me get to the point. In verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. All right, so it's going to get pretty bad out here, man. Right, to the point to where people kicking in doors for food. All right. But it says, Peter said, what we really need to tackle um, inflation is lower government spending, which clearly ain't going to happen. Right? Especially with everything that's going on overseas, what's going on the borders. Right? No government officials are going to take any pay cut. So that's dead. Right? Says government needs to cut spending, but that's not happening. Right? Like straight like that. Says in fact they're doing the opposite. Under Biden, the government is increasing spending, so they are throwing gasoline on the inflation fire. Right? So how does this end in anything other than disaster? It doesn't. So Esau see what's going on. He see the state of his world. Right? He just can't equate the spiritual part of it. Right? 2nd Ezra 6 and 9, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. And we're seeing the signs of the end of this place. Right? And it's a glorious thing to see. Right? So it says that's the only way it will end, because as long as there is no disaster, we'll keep kicking the can down the road. Man, ain't nothing gonna change. Right? Running the same plays over and over and over again, man. That's the daughter of Babylon. Right? Proudly doing so. It says, Peter said the crisis is going to come in the form of a sovereign debt and currency crisis. Right? It's going to have something to do with the finances. That's also why you keep hearing about the central bank and digital currency. Right? Not just in the daughter of Babylon, but around the world. Right? It's all a setup, man. Ordo ob KO. Right? That's how the devil get down. Right? It says so much worse than just the garden variety financial crisis we had in 2008. And 2008 was bad. Like, it was real bad. And a lot of people probably don't even know or didn't know at that time anything was wrong. It was bad. Right? So many people lost their houses during that time. I myself had to move out, because because it got bad, right? But it says, because this time it's not just going to be subprime mortgages that are the problem. It's going to be U.S. Treasury debt. That's the problem. And what's going on now? Like I just said, their debt ceiling, right? And how they keep arguing about what to do. All of that is on purpose, man. Right? All of that is on purpose. Let me see, the book of, I think that's Micah. Micah chapter 2 and verse 1, it says, "Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand." Right? And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. Right? That's all this is about, man. They're about to force oppression on the people with a choice. You take this thing, and that oppression won't be so bad. Right? But if you don't, get ready. Right? And you already know what the thing is that I'm talking about, because if it's having something to do with the economy, if you read Revelation 13, it says the devil going to introduce something to the world that deals with the economy. Right? But it says nobody is going to want to own our sovereign debt because of how high inflation is. And that's also going to create a dollar crisis. There is where we're heading, and it's a big disaster, because what happened in 2008 was China, right? China got the daughter of Babylon out of that crisis, right, through purchasing a lot of the daughter of Babylon's debt, and it kind of eased that blow. It was still bad. It just, the people couldn't see it, right? But who America beefing with now? Who the daughter of Babylon beefing with right now? They beefing with China. China linked up with Russia. Who's the daughter of Babylon beefing with? Also Russia. So we witnessing the fall of this place, right? Let me see. It says, no, we're going to have a crisis because we do raise the debt ceiling, because we've continued to raise that debt ceiling instead of dealing with the real problem, which is not the ceiling, but the debt. The ceiling would be the solution to the problem if they only stopped raising it, right? So instead of paying back the debt, they keep raising the ceiling to increase the debt, which in turn increases things that the people have to pay for, because who's paying back the debt? It's not the government, it's the people, right? Through taxes, through whatever it is you buy in your stores, taxes get raised up so much that the stores then have to raise up the prices of the average things that you buy, right? Oh man, what's that in I bring the scripture out quite often in Revelation. I think 6 or 16. One on. Let me see. Revelation 6. Yeah, Revelation 6 and 6, it says, "And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine." Now, that's not talking about a penny of the day, like 1 cent. They can't buy a damn thing. That's talking about a whole day's pay, right? So when it says a measure of wheat, it's talking about bread. So imagine going to the store and you go buy a loaf of bread, and that loaf of bread costs $100 to $200 for a loaf of bread. Man, ain't nobody working, man. If you go to the store and buy you a loaf of bread for $100 to $200, there is nobody working, no more jobs. It's kicking in that door to go take that bread and all the other goods that go with it. All right. Let me see. Uh, all right, so it says, why can't the powers that be see this coming? Peter said they never do, or if they do, they lie about it. So, of course, they see it coming, right? But the devil, he lies. That's the term itself means deceiver, right? So, of course, they know what's going on. It's all a part of an agenda, man. It's all a part of Revelation 13. This is all about the image of the beast. It's all about the mark, right? And it's all about the new digital world order that Esau Edom is putting into place. But they only gonna get so far, man. Right? Let me see. I think that's Job 20. Yeah, they only gonna get so far. So this Job 20 and 22, it says, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. When he is about to fill his belly, power shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. Right? So, only gonna get so far, but the beauty of all of this is, it's happening. Right? All of these end time prophecies are happening. Right? And the Most High promised that to us. Yahweh promised that to us. Right? If we would bethink ourselves in the land of our captivity, make supplication unto the Lord, come back and follow the Lord with all our heart, mind, soul, and strength to the best of our abilities, then the Most High would then begin to fight for us. And we can see him fighting for us. Right? So call Haloyim La Yahweh by Shemi, I was shy by Shem Harakakodash for that. Right? So let me read the rest of this article. I think that's it. It says, why couldn't they see 2008 coming? That was obvious. Why couldn't they see this inflation problem? I mean, they were claiming it was transitory when it was obvious that it wasn't. I mean, it was just going to be for a short amount of time, and they were going to bounce back. Right? But it says, it's all about spin when it comes to the government. They're never going to be honest. They're either going to lie about what's going to happen, or maybe they're just so ignorant that they really can't see what is clearly apparent to anybody who objectively looks at the facts. Right? So you've got to think for yourself and recognize that the government is never going to tell you about a crisis. You just need to prepare for it yourself. All right? Them facts, man. All right? Those are facts. The devil that went out to deceive the nations. Right? Please don't follow him. If you do, you're going to be led to destruction. All right, so I ended with that, man. And Yahweh Shemi Al-Shah these precepts in this video were edifying. Kol Haloyim La, Yahweh Sham Yahweh Shai Bahasham Har Kakodash. Shalom, Yashalom.